A very good evening to you all. Welcome to the English News Bulletin here on Rwanda Television. We are glad you could join us, and here are the headlines. During the World Peace Day celebration at the Kigali Genocide Memorial, Dr. Bizimana Jean Damascene, the Minister of National Unity and Civic Engagement, called on all Rwandans, especially the youth, to adopt Rwandan cultural beliefs. To the education sector, leaders of private universities in Rwanda have expressed their commitment to supporting the government's goal in the new 5-year presidential term by contributing to the nation's transformation into an educational hub. My name is Olive Nete. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. Now let's take a closer look at the news. During the World Peace Day celebration at the Kigali Genocide Memorial, Dr. Bizimana Jean Damascene, the Minister of National Unity and Civic Engagement, called on all Rwandans, especially the youth, to adopt Rwandan cultural beliefs, values, and taboos as vital steps towards achieving lasting peace. William Evans kicks us off tonight.
The National Day of Peace, also known as the World Peace Day, is a United Nations-sanctioned holiday observed annually on 21st September. Rwanda first observed the World Peace Day in September 2011, making this the 13th time this day is being celebrated. The international theme for this year's Peace Day is cultivating a culture of peace, which draws inspiration in the belief that wars begin in the minds of humans. Hence, cultivating peace means instilling values of dialogue and mutual respect at a young age. At the national level, the Ministry of National Unity and Civic Engagement, along with other partners, organized a conference to discuss ways to promote Rwandan cultural values that build peace and the connection between mental health and sustainable peace building.
hanyuma u Rwanda narwo rwahisemo kuzirikana umunsi w'amahoro kuva muri 2011 ni igikorwa kibanga.
Rwanda decided to honor World Peace Day from 2011. This is an annual event. We reflect on how far we've come as a country after the genocide against the Tutsi. But we also look at peace beyond our borders. This is because there is no single country that enjoys peace if the region or continent it belongs to is conflicted. At the regional level, Rwanda is doing all it can to ensure sustainable peace, even when it is clear that we still have genocide perpetrators who have not given up on their genocidal agenda. These identify under the rebel group FDLR that is in Congo and are a big threat to the regional peace, and Rwanda is concerned. In fact, the entire world should be concerned too, because genocide perpetrators should not be rewarded with support and several platforms, but instead should be brought to record in the books of justice. Rwanda, through diplomacy, continues to urge all concerned parties to bring this rebel group and its agenda to the end. Mr. Frank Kaitare, the country representative of Interpeace in Rwanda, emphasizes the importance of honoring days like this in Rwanda, especially by engaging youths and young people.
First of all, it's very important for a country like Rwanda, for a society like Rwandan society, to celebrate International Day of Peace. Because as a country, in our past, we have so many decades when we didn't know peace. We have had generations that never knew peace. But now we've been at least have had 30 years of stability and cohesion. However, when you celebrate, you also reflect on the challenges. And the challenges, both internal and external. The internal challenges, we've conducted research. I think the minister mentioned it during his speech. But we also look at the external factors, which directly influence the sustainability of the peace that we have. The influences can be political, they can be distractions like social media, especially today we are talking to young people. And I think the important job of peace builders, of government, of everyone who has a responsibility to strengthen the capacity of the youth, is to improve their critical thinking, the capacity to analyze, the capacity to see and analyze what is correct and what is not. When rather they read on the social media, we are talking about the connection of culture and peace. Culture evolves. What was considered culturally important 100 years ago in Rwanda might not be the same today. So that's why when you have intergenerational dialogues like this, young people can also ask critical questions. They can also maybe question some of the aspects of culture to get information, or maybe that's where you also know whether the youth are gradually developing a new culture as a new generation. And so these discussions are very important.
The director of the Institute of Research and Dialogue for Peace, which is a think tank that conducts research around issues likely to affect peace in Rwanda and the region, highlighted that people, especially the youth, should look at peace as something not naturally given, but one that is worked for.
Peace is not a given. We have to bear in mind that it should be fought for, it should be protected, it should be cherished. I would say that we shouldn't consider promoting peace only in the physical space. We should also consider promoting peace in other spaces, mostly the digital space. And that's where we are calling our young people to be very, very careful. Peace is to be built where we spend most of our time. And currently, the vast majority of young people are spending their time online, on digital media spaces, on digital media platforms. So we are encouraging them today to be watchful, to be careful enough, so that messages that they are consuming on those platforms be scrutinized, be analyzed, be critically engaged with, so that we don't really waste what we have achieved in this country. We don't really experience the pitfalls of conflicts and divisions that our country experienced in the past.
In the words of John F. Kennedy, the pursuit of peace and progress cannot end in a few years. It must be the concern of a lifetime. William Evans, Mutabazi, RwandaTV News.
Let's move forward with other matters as the high-level general debate of the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly approaches on Tuesday, September 24, 2024. Political experts emphasize the Assembly's focus on finding sustainable solutions to the growing insecurities worldwide. Prince Manzi has more details.
Political instabilities across the world, including Somalia, USA and the Iraq war, the genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda till the Russia-Ukraine war, that existed since the establishment of the United Nations in 1945 are tangible demonstrations of the UN failure to ensure peace as its mandate stated. According to Ambassador Joseph Mutaboba, a political analyst, the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly has to reunify members to reach a sustainable approach to rising instabilities in the world. Since the establishment of the UN after the Second World War, wars did not stop, and in these years, early 2000s, wars are increasing and in all parts of the world. The problem is that these wars are between members of the United Nations Security Council. This means that those that were supposed to find a solution, they are now against each other. The 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly has a lot to consider in its general debate. Another issue witnessed is the superiority system in the law enactment in the United Nations. Alois Mutabingwa, a law expert, urges members of the United Nations, mainly the African countries, to generate own solutions rather than expecting much, adding that this is high time for the United Nations structure to be amended. This is what African countries are failing to understand, how a country can make another. It's impossible. The issues that Africans face are to be addressed by own solutions. The structure of the United Nations is also to be changed from a 5 permanent seats to all countries' equality. For the United Nations to be effective, it starts with its amendment, and it is reiterated by many. The 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly is under the theme Unity in Diversity to promote peace, sustainable development, and human dignity for all everywhere.
Thank you, Prince, for the details. Now to educational matters. Leaders of private universities in Rwanda have expressed their commitment to supporting the government's goals in the new 5-year presidential term by contributing to the nation's transformation into an educational hub. They aim to achieve this by enhancing educational infrastructure and investing in highly qualified lecturers. Prince Manzi shares additional information.
During the swearing-in ceremony of the new Minister of Education, the head of state called on everyone to actively contribute to the advancement of Rwanda's education sector.
uburezi bwacu rero bumaze gutera intambwe mu busanzwe ariko ntabwo burageraho twifuza cyangwa se.
There has been remarkable progress in our education sector, but we have not yet fully achieved our goals or reached a point of complete satisfaction. Given the challenges we still observe, we must work together to continue developing our education sector, which is key to many aspects of progress. Where we are currently is an improvement, but we must not backslide. Instead, we need to stay strong and continue advancing further.
Ntabwo twasubira inyuma ahubwo duhera aho ngaho bimeze neza tukifuza ko byatera imbere kurusha.
Investors in the education sector have expressed their strong commitment to partnering with the government in transforming Rwanda into an educational hub. Mukarubega, founder of the University of Tourism, Technology and Business Studies, emphasized their determination to collaborate and take necessary steps to achieve this goal.
Buri munyarwanda wese aba agira uruhare mu guharanira kugira uruhare mu byo nyakubahwa perezida wa Repubulika yemereye abanyarwanda.
Every Rwandan should play a role in contributing to the promises made by the President of the Republic to ensure they are fulfilled. As you know, education is a pillar of development, and no one can achieve true progress without it. That is why we have strengthened our efforts. Now, with our own buildings, we are striving to raise the quality of education to a level that competes with other institutions in Africa and around the world, ensuring that students who join this university receive the quality education they need.
Private universities have faced criticism for prioritizing profit over quality in education. However, some leaders within these institutions assert that they are committed to maintaining high educational standards, recognizing that quality is essential for sustainable development.
N'ubu ngubu abanyamahanga turabafite ndetse uretse n'abanyamahanga iyo urebye nko mu bijyanye n'imiyoborere y'amahoteli n'ubukerarugendo.
Currently, we have foreign students, and when you take a close look at the hospitality industry, especially in management, 80% of those in the industry are graduates from this university. We have foreign students from different nations. At present, we have students from 47 different African countries. Our programs are designed to contribute to the development of the country. We don't focus solely on income, as we offer some of the lowest tuition fees compared to other universities, but we also prioritize providing quality of education to achieve excellence. Another objective of this university in supporting the government is to reduce the number of unemployed graduates by facilitating job opportunities through agreements between Rwanda and other countries.
To more news, the judiciary is urging the public to have confidence in the procedures established to expedite trials, including plea bargaining and mediation. This call for trust comes amid concerns that some people have been awaiting trial for over a year. Further insights are available in this story. The goal of the judicial system in Rwanda is to deliver fast and effective justice. However, the increasing number of cases in the courts has led to significant delays, leaving many people awaiting trial for extended periods. We've been requesting a court date for the past 2 years, and they finally gave us on the 25th of September. All we wish for now is for the process to be completed so that our people can go to court, be sentenced if they are guilty, or if found innocent, be freed and allowed to return home. When the judiciary concluded the 2023-2024 judicial year, it reported approximately 76,000 cases pending in the courts. To address this issue, the prosecution has implemented measures such as mediation and plea bargaining, which involves reaching agreements based on guilty pleas. Marius Netejul, Inspector General of the National Public Prosecution Authority, emphasizes these strategies as essential for reducing the backlog of court cases.
Pre-bargaining twatangiye kwishyiramo imbaraga muri 2022 ukwezi kwa karindwi.
We started enforcing the use of plea bargaining in July 2022, and today it has reached more than 10,785 cases. We draft the contracts and submit them to the judge for approval. Another method is mediation. For example, last year, the prosecution office resolved 3,131 cases without going to court. There's also another way of resolving cases by charging fines, which is an effective way to settle matters without necessarily going to court. Last year, 717 people were fined, and the cases were resolved without going to court.
The judicial system encourages the public to trust these established methods as they are vital for reducing the number of cases in the courts. Nzamuye Jean-Marie Vianney from the Inspectorate of Courts urges the public to move away from a culture of confrontation and to recognize that not every issue needs to be taken to court.
Wherever people are, there will inevitably be problems or conflicts. However, it is important to understand that when a problem arises, the first step should be to seek common ground and mutual understanding. People should set aside their personal interests to find balance and resolve the issue peacefully, allowing them to continue living in harmony. Trying to confront each other or prove one's strength only worsens the problem, often leading to court battles. Even after a court decision, one may still want to appeal, causing the case to drag on and on.
The judiciary reports that in the year 2023-2024, a total of 109,691 cases were tried, a significant increase from 76,346 cases in 2019-2020, representing a 44% rise. Measures implemented to address the backlog have led to a decrease in pending cases, reducing the total from 56,379 in 2022-2023 to 44,799 by the end of the current year. Now to health matters, gynecologists and obstetricians are urging young people, particularly women, to begin preconception planning early to assess their health, especially regarding infections affecting the urinary tract. They also provide insights into the risks of ectopic pregnancy. Enora Gladys reports.
Health experts in reproductive life encourages young women who plans to get pregnant to first make sure of their conditions and get early treatment that can help them. Dr. Victor Mivumbi is a doctor and specialist in gynecology obstetrician. He highly recommends women preparing to get pregnant to first consult a health professionals and be aware of their life conditions.
First thing is before even getting pregnancy, to go to see a health professional to get information, to be prepared. That's the key things. Second, I would advise women, ladies, young ladies, even pregnant women, once they miss their period, to go to the facility to get information to confirm the pregnancy and then start immediately antenatal care. Because during antenatal care, she will get all information. She's going to be screened to some of the diseases, and then also to advise to follow the guidelines, to visit very often the health professional to do a good follow-up of pregnancy and also his life, and then also to plan the delivery with the health professional exchange.
Professor Ann Kihara, the president of the International Federation of Gynecologists, points out that women should have health literacy and also have primary coverage to be able to get all the right treatment from the doctor for being aware of where they can need emergency care.
Health literacy. We need to be aware of what we should expect when we go to the hospital. Number two, our health-seeking behavior. You are really the most precious person, bringing in new life, perpetuating this nation as a Rwandese or any other woman in any other place. You are contributing to the quality of the nation's populace. That is a unique role for a woman. And we need to really protect not only yourself, but extend that even to the generation that is coming forth from you. The only place that you can get most of this information correctly would be in the presence of a healthcare provider. So please attend clinics. Let us see you. Let us be able to even assess you, because some women have got high risk problems, others are low risk. But let us give you the guidance that's needed. Let's do the tests. Let's do the monitoring and surveillance of both you and your baby. And then let us plan where we ought to deliver. And if need be, where then do I have emergency care if it may be needed? And at what level, so that if I'm in a peripheral hospital and I need specialized care, I'm not rushing. I'm actually having a well-planned and orchestrated plan in terms of that emergency and the referral networks that will be needed.
Dr. Kenneth Ruzindana, a gynecologist from University Teaching Hospital of Kigali. He explains more about ectopic pregnancy and how it occurs, and also the possible treatments available for it.
This phenomenon is called ectopic pregnancy or extrauterine pregnancy. So usually when fertilization takes place, the fertilized ovum is moved to the uterus where the fetus grows up to the time when the mother gives birth. But we also know that fertilization takes place in the fallopian tubes, in the tubes. So if this physiologic process doesn't take place, usually the fertilized egg will grow in the fallopian tube. And so logically we know that this is not where it's supposed to grow. So as the pregnancy progresses and grows, the tube will grow in size and eventually, let me use the word burst. And this will cause usually very profuse bleeding, intra-abdominal bleeding. So the woman will bleed in the abdomen, and they usually come to us when they have either in shock because of extreme hemorrhage, or sometimes we are able to detect this if they come for antenatal care very early enough in their pregnancy course. So in the first trimester we can be able to diagnose this illness and be able to treat it before it ruptures and causing intra-abdominal bleeding. Yes, so the phenomenon is called an ectopic pregnancy, and the simple we do not know what really causes it, but we know patients who have risk factors. So those factors that they increase their risk of having ectopic pregnancy. For example, patients who have previously had a sexually transmitted disease. Previous sexually transmitted diseases impairs the function of the fallopian tubes. Also patients who have previously had surgery in their pelvis or in their abdomen, or may potentially have other factors that impair the functionality of the fallopian tubes. Patients as well who have had a history of a previous ectopic pregnancy as well. So if you have had a previous ectopic pregnancy, that significantly increases your risk for having an ectopic pregnancy at your subsequent pregnancy as well. We have, of course, also we call them advanced maternal age. So of course, as you increase in maternal age, when you get pregnant, that also significantly increases your risk for having an ectopic pregnancy. So ectopic pregnancies really occur because the functionality of the fallopian tube, the fallopian tube has structures we call villi that sweep the fertilized egg from the fallopian tubes down into the uterus where the growth of the fetus takes place. So if this functionality is impaired, then that results into an ectopic pregnancy.
Ectopic pregnancy is the leading cause of maternal mortality in the first trimester, especially in areas with limited access to medical care. In developing countries, the incidence can be higher, ranging from 2 to 4%, largely due to untreated sexually transmitted infections and inadequate reproductive health care. Enora Gladys, RwandaTV News.
And by here we conclude tonight's edition. Thank you for tuning in to today's broadcast. On behalf of the Technical and News Production team, thank you for being with us. Have a restful weekend.